Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel today. This is Paul at Kentucky Tacklebox. Today I want to talk about modifying a lure called the Torpedo. And these are made by Heddon, and there may be a few aftermarket manufacturers that are making copies of Heddon's lure originally. But the idea behind the Torpedo lure was that it was kind of the original design behind like the Chapos and the Whopper Ploppers you see today. And the idea was they used a small piece of metal at the back of the lure that would chop the water as you pull it through as you're fishing it on the top. It's the top water lure. So I had picked up a couple of these recently because I just wanted to kind of throw some nostalgic lures and see if I would have any luck with them. And one of the things I noted was I did get a few hits, but I wasn't able to land any fish. And I got to looking at the lure, and I think I realized maybe what part of the issue is. So if you look at the size of the treble hook diameter, and then you look at the size of the propeller actually almost kind of fouls the fish his mouth as it's trying to grab the back of the lure. So with that in mind, I was thinking about a couple different modifications that you could use to maybe make the lure a little more effective. Now, the first one might be just to get a pair of tin snips or a pair of diagonal cutters and just trim these blades down, shorten them up a little bit on either side so they're not quite as long. The other option would be you could take a pair of needle nose pliers and maybe kind of do a little bending and twisting on them, try to bend them a little either back towards the body or back down towards the hook, but you want to make sure that they're not fouling on the barbs of the hook so that it affects your hookups. And then what I ended up doing with my other one, because I had a couple of these, I just actually cut the propeller right off. I actually just kind of bent the metal back and forth enough times until it broke, and then I removed it. And the reason being is that another lure that Heddon makes is called the Spook and the Spook Junior. They also have a puppy version, which is basically a similar shaped lure. It has a kind of a tube-shaped body to reminisce act like a small bait fish. But if you look at one, and I have one here for an example, uh, you'll see that you can only slide it over here to compare it. Okay, so what you see is that the body profile is almost identical between the two lures, and there is no propeller on the back of the. This is a Heddon puppy, and the Spook would be just a little larger. The Spook Junior would be a little larger, and then the Spook would be even bigger than that. But you can see that these are almost the same shape and diameter. This is just looking at them from the top down. The Torpedo is a little bit shorter and it's a little bit fatter than the Zara puppy, but the lures are similar enough that you could actually make this work like a walking bait without the propeller on the back. Now you'll notice the other thing too is the line tie at the front on the puppy is down low. So if you try to tie it directly on the front and you're having difficulty walking the lure, what you might have to do is remove that eyelet in the front and then drill a small pilot hole at an angle at the bottom so it matches the Zara puppy. And then you could get the same type of walking action you get with this bait. So that's another option as far as modifying the Torpedo lure. Now, hopefully these will give you a couple of ideas if you've been fishing those or you like fishing them, but you're finding that you're losing some fish. More than likely it has everything to do with the diameter of the propeller blade on the back. And like I say, there are different things you can do. You could trim them to shorten them up. You could bend them a couple of different directions to see if that would help, improve them from falling on the hook. Because think about the fish's mouth. As the fish comes in, it's going to be trying to grab, like so. And if the propellers are in the way, they're going to kind of foul it. So anything you can do to kind of help improve that would definitely be in your advantage. And like I say, you are going to lose some of the noise from the lure, but if you go back to the Zara, the puppy, and the Spook Junior and the Spook, these don't make any noise. There's no BBs in them. There's no propellers on the back, and these things are fish catching machines. They will catch a lot. So keep that in mind. It's a great modification, easy to make, and these lures are fairly inexpensive, a few dollars to maybe $7, depending on where you buy them at. So next time you're out and you have some old top water torpedoes, you want to mess around with them or modify them, that's a great option. And as always, thanks again for watching, and get out on the water when you can. We're just about to get hit with some summer heat here in Kentucky, and should be interesting for the fishing. So we'll see you next time. Bye.